Thank you for choosing the Emirates World channel on your flight with Emirates today. Here's where you can find lots of useful information, particularly if you're heading for Dubai on business or for a holiday. Dubai is home for many thousands of successful entrepreneurs who set up their business in the city. Perhaps you'd like to join them. Our next guest here on this Emirates World podcast can help. He's Neil Petch, founder and chairman of Virtuzone. Since founding the company in 2009, Neil has helped more than 14,000 entrepreneurs set up their own business in Dubai. So Neil, over to you for some advice.
Well, if you're sitting on that plane, you're probably a global citizen. Global citizens, business people, want to choose, of course, the best place to run their business. And increasingly, the world is your oyster. You can choose anywhere. And I would argue very, very strongly, the most efficient place, safest place, and the place with the best working ecosystem is Dubai, pure and simple.
But cities in this particular part of the world have got a bit of a reputation for being quite challenging when it comes to setting up a business. How difficult is it?
I came here 25 years ago, and if I'd wanted to set up my own business then, yes, bit of a minefield. Now, there's a huge range of choice. If you look at the news coming out of Dubai over the last year, the government is increasingly trying to embrace all businesses, make it incredibly easy to set up your business. Now, that's a combination of things. As Virtuzone, we specifically, if you like, champion startups, people who have a dream and want to turn that dream into a real company. That means 1-2-man operations where your revenues are low and your costs are high, and traditionally 1 in 2 of those fail. Yet in Dubai we have a stat of 75% success. There must be a reason for that. One of the reasons is the costs are low and the support is high.
So you've been going for 10 years now. How many companies have you helped set up?
We set up over 15,000 companies, and it's quite amazing. I would very, very strongly say that the startup capital of the world at the moment is Dubai. If you're in a taxi listening to the radio, driving from the airport, you will hear tens of startup companies advertising their services. We were the first, but there's lots of them now. There's a reason for that. I mean, we set up about 350 companies a month. Now, the people we're setting up for a whole range of reasons. One of the biggest areas, of course, is people that are already in Dubai or have friends or family in Dubai, but increasingly we're reaching out to people in Europe and in the States and in Russia, and they're recognizing that if they want, in many cases they're running e-commerce businesses, they're buying goods perhaps from China, shipping them to Africa. Dubai is wonderfully placed right between China, India, yes, Europe, but also Africa. So with Jebel Ali, with all the infrastructure, with good old Emirates providing planes with lots of hold space in them, it's a great place to do that. And of course, from an efficiency point of view, all of the revenues that you receive for your company, you can invest in growing your company. So it's an incredible place to start your business. And unlike traditional avenues, a lot of people might set their companies up in offshore jurisdictions, particularly in the Caribbean or the Indian Ocean, the BVIs of this world. Dubai and the UAE is a sovereign nation, and I would really stress a very important thing. There are 2 Tier 1 financial jurisdictions in the UAE, DIFC and AGGM. So the Dubai government, the UAE government are seeking to be incredibly compliant, so it's making sure that the right people are investing in the country, and yet at the same time making it incredibly accessible. It's literally a 2-day thing to set your company up. You can become a resident in the UAE, which is very, very attractive to people from all over the world. And of course, for the UAE, that's fantastic because you've got people coming back and telling their friends about it.
What are the rules on ownership? Do I have to have a local partner?
That used to be the case 25 years ago, and there are now 52 free zones in the UAE. Those free zones allow, in all cases, 100% ownership. They're quick to set up. They allow you full control of the operation of the company. They tend to be more cost efficient to set up. But I'm really encouraged to tell you that what you're referring to, Steve, there, which is the mainland type setup that used to have a 51% partner. Firstly, for many years, that's not necessarily the case. In some activities, yes, it was. But now, again, we provide a corporate structure where you can have that ownership you're sponsored by a company, not by an individual, so you're 100% secure. And the government is increasingly introducing initiatives that allow, I'm sure you'll have heard of 10-year visas, 100% ownership of a raft of companies, and also the ability to run your company in Dubai without being required to have a huge office space. So that means that the initial setup costs are cheaper, speed is of the essence because time is money. So it's really, it's a great place. So if you're passing through to go to the Far East, to go to Australia, stop off for a couple of days and you can have a company ready for your return.
So quick as that?
Absolutely.
What about the red tape aspect? Over the 10 years you've been running Virtuzone, have you seen the amount of red tape increase or decrease?
Yeah, again, when we started 10 years ago, there was a lot of hand filling out of forms, and every time you write something down with your hand, there's an opportunity to spell something incorrectly. That has been automated. You'll see that Dubai is seeking to be an absolute world example of blockchain. We use automation increasingly. So the challenge is always making sure that you're working with central bank, that you're working with the Department of Immigration to make sure that the right people are coming into the country, but making it easy for that visitor from Montreal to set up from his office in Canada. These days technology allows us to take a picture of our iris and the software checks everything. So it's all about knowing who the ultimate beneficial owner is, making sure that the safe people are there, source of funds are correct. Dubai's doing a fantastic job of ensuring that. The banks I sit on a panel actually, which the Ministry of Finance set up to increase the ease of banking. You may have seen that the UAE's jumped 10 spaces up to 11th in ease of doing business, according to the World Banking Report. There's a reason for that. We wanted to make it easier. Red tape's there for a reason. It's there to make sure that you've got the right companies and the right people, but technology allows us to cut through that and do things incredibly quickly.
You've acted as, if I may put it this way, a midwife to literally thousands of companies. Do you now get any satisfaction from seeing those companies grow and prosper here in Dubai?
Yeah, when people ask me what makes me the happiest, it's seeing both my staff members grow and companies that have set up as two-man employees blossom. We have a radio show called Starting Up, and we actually interviewed a couple of people who are also celebrating their 10th anniversary. We have a range of sports stars, of celebrities running their businesses from the UAE, and companies that have turned into $100 million enterprises that started as a tiny little green shoot in the UAE. But we also have huge international conglomerates setting up their branches here because they realize that it's much more efficient to run things from the UAE.
So where do your customers come from? Any particular region or all over?
We target all over the world. As I already mentioned to you, Steve, it's much easier for us to get someone who's living in Dubai to set up because they know about Virtuzone already. But someone who's in Canada, who's in South America, who's in Africa, we have the whole raft. As part of our group, we have a company that provides citizenship by investment. So we literally help people acquire second passports. So from that, you can see that our staff includes 22 nationalities, 26 languages, a little bit like the Emirates flight that our listeners are sitting on, actually. Yep. The reason for that is because Dubai, the UAE, is of interest right across the world. Our customers come from right across the world. The range of businesses that they set up, whilst it focuses primarily on the services industry, but you'll see anything from factories to actually produce insulin, anything that you can imagine. The UAE is most known perhaps for tourism and real estate and oil, yet our area of speciality is literally everything. And then a key thing here is that what a lot of people do is they'll look for that business innovation in the States and seek to bring it to the Middle East. We're of course wanting to do that the other way around, to bring brilliant Arab-based unicorns to the rest of the world. You've seen recently with Souk.com and Kareem that is possible. I'm sure there's going to be some more over the next couple of years.
Some excellent advice there from Neil Petch, founder and chairman of Virtuzone, helping entrepreneurs get started in Dubai. If you'd like to contact Neil or you'd like more information, the website is simplicity itself, vz.ae.